Hey guys, welcome to the Introduction to WordPress Development series. My name is Adil Usman. So in this series, we said we'll talk about the process of website development. How does a website work? Web designer versus web developer, and qualities of a good WordPress developer. And so far, we've talked about the process of web development. So in this video we'll be talking about how website works. How does a website works? For a website to work properly, there are four things involved. Number one is the host space, which is the host server. Number two, domain name and extensions. Number three, domain name server, DNS. And number four, web files. Host space. The host space is basically where the web files, that is the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, images, videos, etc. are stored and served when a user makes a request. It could be self-hosted using advanced routers, using service providers, or cloud service. Domain name and extensions. When a website is hosted on a server, it needs a domain name that users can use to access the website. Domain extensions are usually associated with domain name with dot. They sometimes indicate the level and what the domain name is associated with. Take www.facebook.com for instance. Facebook is the website name and .com is the extension. Every domain name is assigned a unique IP address which computer as its servers understand. So when you type the website address in your browser, it sends a request to the nearest server, probably your ISP, internet service provider. The DNS configuration process the request looking for the location of the website server so it can fetch the website and send back to the browser. The layers of DNS request can reach up to 4 layers depending on the frequency of requests for the website via the DNS or ISP. Subdomain. Subdomain usually indicates a secondary directory or path that originates from a primary domain. Take doc.google.com as an example of a subdomain. Google.com is the primary domain, while the prefix doc is the subdomain. The subdomain usually share host space with the primary domain because it can host an entirely different website from the one on the primary domain. Domain extensions. There are four major categories of domain extension, which are the generic domain extension, country level domain extension, niche domain extension, and secondary level domain extension. The generic domain extension, for example, we have .com, .biz, .ai, .io, .tv. .io is not part of them. So we have country level domain. For example, .ng, .in, which is for India, .au for Australia, .gh for Ghana. And we also have niche domain extension. They indicate profession and are usually very expensive. So examples are .shop, .travel, .lawyer, .fashion, .law, .ltd, .fm, .pizza, and so on. Second level domain extension usually contains combination of two extensions. They are very cheap. For example, .com.ng, .com.org, .school.net, .edu.ng, .gov.us. So the categories of these domain extensions are categorized into two major categories, which are top level domain and second level domain. So the categories under the top level domains are the generic top level domain, the country code top level domain, the niche domain extension. So those are the three categories under the top level domain. Then we have the second level domain, which I've explained earlier. So the generic top level domain extension are also referred to as GTLD, while the country code top level domain extension are also referred to as CCTLD. Domain name system. Domain name system, this is a system that helps route requests to name servers as appropriate. Also assign unique and permanent IP address to websites so you do not have to remember IP addresses for every website. Name servers. Basically, a domain request may go through 4 levels of request and responses. All happens within milliseconds or seconds. Layer 1 is the domain recursive layer, which is the device level response or the ISP level response. Number 2, the layer 2 is root name server. Number 3 is TLD name server. Number 4 is authoritative name server. So these are the levels of servers that your request can reach before it returns a response to you on your web browser whenever you make a request. Maybe try to access the website from your browser. So the fastest one is the one from the layer 1, that is the domain recursive server. So at this level, at this layer, the website has been cached in a temporary storage for retrieval, for fast retrieval. So this is usually done from the ISP level. So when you are browsing the net through an ISP, so if the website has been browsed frequently by other users, so there is tendency that the website has been cached on the ISP server. So what happens is that when you request for such a website, it doesn't have to go through layer 2, layer 3, or layer 4. It's only fetch the cached version of the website from the ISP, then sends the response back to your browser. And the last one is the web files. These are the HTML codes, CSS, JavaScript, Python, images, documents, site maps, videos, audios, etc. that are used to develop the website and are contained in the media space of the website. So how does a website work? One, we have client-side language, and then we have the server-side language. So the client-side language or markup is the CSS, the HTML, and JavaScript. How the server-side language can be PHP, Java, C#, Python, and JavaScript, etc. So when you request, for example, facebook.com from your browser, so the first thing it does is that it goes through the ISP, your internet service provider, provided you are browsing through an ISP. Then the ISP search the DNS. So if the website has been cached in the ISP's DNS, then it does not need to further search other layer. It does not need to pass on the request to other layers of name servers. But if it does not meet any cached version of facebook.com on your ISP's DNS, then it passes the request to layer 2, which is the domain root server. So by the time it goes through all the layers, then it gets to the host server. So this host server hosts the server-side language and also the web files and the client-side languages. So from the host server, it returns the request the way the user will understand it and the way it has been programmed with CSS, HTML, JavaScript. Then it returns the user-friendly interface to the user. From here, the fetching and processing of requests is handled by the server-side languages. So when the website shows up, then from here, when you search anything on the website, it doesn't go through DNS anymore. So it will be processed by the server-side language that has been used to program the website, be it PHP, Java, C#, Python, JavaScript. So the server-side language will now be in charge of returning requests to users, whatever the user requests. So the server-side language will be in charge of returning the request. So this will be the end of this series. I hope you've learned some things, and I hope to see you in the next class. Thank you.